Have you ever signed a record deal before?
Yeah, I'm freshly signed, like last June, July.
And care to share who that's with?
I'm with Alamo Records and BoyMeetSpace.
And how did that opportunity come about for you?
A&R from there named Joey, he found my song, etc. And then he called me one day and he was like, I want to fly you out. So I'm like, I called Jetsonmade from BoyMeetSpace. I called him, I was like, should I go with them like type shit? And then it was like, man, we can work it out. And then they flew me out like just next week. That's how that came.
And when you speak of June, July, you're speaking in reference to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you signed. Now, you mentioned Jetson. How did that relationship even start?
That started with my homeboy 18 Vino from South Carolina. See, that was my homeboy. He died and all that. But he put Jetson on to me. And then all of us had met in the studio. All the Space Boys, they met in the studio. And me and Vino was just working on songs. And after that, we just been locked in. That was like 2020. That's when I met him.
Now, speaking of Vino,
Mm-hmm.
how did you two initially meet?
It was this girl, we know that were mutual friends, and she was just playing my songs in the car with him. And he was like, who that is? Type. He was like, who that is? Whoop, whoop. And then he hit me up. And he was like, bro, we gotta do this and this. I was like, man, let's do it. You feel me? And we just did it.
Do you remember what age you were when you meet him for the very first time?
Probably 20, probably 21. Yeah.
Now, what was he really like?
Energetic, full of energy. Somebody that can make you laugh all the time too, just funny. But he was a hard worker though. For real, for real.
Do you have a favorite memory of him you'd like to share with the audience today?
Just him calling my phone and we just talking for a long time, period of time about what we really wanted to do with music. That was really the best moments with me and him, cause we had real plans.
Care to share any of those plans back then that you had set for yourselves?
Definitely. He was just working. He was trying to bring me under him type. So I would have ended up being probably 18, whoop whoop. And then it happened with him dying and shit. But it was like he was gonna sign and then he was trying to come get me to be with him, like right under him. That's what the plan was.
Now, what's the best advice you ever received from him, or most important thing you learned being around him?
Like sometimes you really just gotta have fun with a lot of stuff. Like sometimes you can't take everything serious, like not all the way through, but he just always wanted me to focus on the music. For real, the music was his main focus for me.
And was there any music between you two?
Definitely.
How many songs do you have with him at this point?
We got 3 songs, one out and one about to come out on the next album.
And care to share the name of that album?
Drugs in the Mic 2, TOO instead of TWO. So it's like a also, because I dropped Drugs in the Mic already.
Now, you mentioned there's 3 songs, one that's out, one that's about to be on that album. What about that third song?
Nobody never can get to it. It's like at a studio just sitting somewhere. I don't even think nobody heard it since that night.
So is it, for clarification here, lost?
You can say that for sure. Definitely lost.
Now, anything else you want to mention about Vino, or question you weren't asked, people want to know about him?
I just rest in peace, my boy. I got him. Got him for sure.
And back to the deal that you have with Alamo.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of follow-up questions there. Now, everyone's circumstances are different, but for you personally, why'd you sign a deal at that time in your life?
I just feel like it was time for it. And I know I've been holding on to my tape for a minute, so I feel like it'll be the best opportunity for everybody to really catch on, go through them.
And what tape was that you're referencing here?
Drugs in the Mic 2.
Now, have you been offered a deal in the past before this?
No, but I did miss some DMs from other people that I never seen till after I signed.
And were those major record labels,
Yeah.
independent record labels, major artists, independent artists?
Both independent and major labels.
Care to share who?
I had somebody, A&R from Empire hit me up, and I ain't gonna say the rest.
Any regret on that?
Nah, definitely not.
And that was in reference to all the people that reached out after you signed.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to mention about a record deal or a question you weren't asked? People want to know about one.
Nah, I enjoy my situation I got. It's good, going good.
In full disclosure, a rep from Alamo initiated this interview. And when it comes to Jetson, follow-up question here in regards to him. What's it really like working with him?
It's easy, really. Like, he the music man. He know what he doing. And he got a whole team. Like, it's not just him. You got Nico, baby. You got First Class. You got a whole bunch of young dudes. Like, you really can't miss with them. It's like, if you don't want to get on his beat, you got somebody else you can really get into, for real.
And just for transparency, First Class is off camera to the side of you.
Definitely.
Now, out of all his characteristics, and this is in regards to Jetson, what do you enjoy the most about him?
His work ethic. Like, he don't really take too much time off in my eyes, you feel me? Like, he just work, for real.
And on the opposite end of the spectrum, is there a characteristic of his you can't stand? Maybe something that bugs you, bothers you, gets under your skin, perhaps.
Nah, that's my dog.
Now, what's the best advice you ever received from Jetson, or most important thing you learned being around him so far?
I just feel like with him, the music come first. Like, you got to have good music. You got to have that music first, for real.
And for clarification, was that advice you were given or something you learned?
Kind of both. It's kind of both.
Anything else you want to mention about Jetson or a question you weren't asked? People want to know about him.
Nah, I just appreciative of him, for real, because he ain't really had to do this. He ain't really had to really jump into me, you feel me?